I guess just kind of, last Thursday, you guys only let up one sack. What do you just kind of feel like that says about your overall pass protection and how successful you guys were last week?
I feel like we put a lot of time in as a group, outside of what we're supposed to do, outside of our regular meetings and whatnot. I feel like we put a lot of time in at just understanding everyone's jobs. And, I feel like we just do a lot of work together. So I feel like that showed up in our game.
In that first half, you guys were really tight. There weren't any holding penalties. Those all kind of came in that second half. What do you feel like kind of led to that first half success early on?
I think just preparation. I feel like we had really good preparation throughout the week before the game. And like I said, I feel like the O-line in particular put a lot of off work on our own free times together. So we're just getting together, watching film, going through stuff, and I feel like a lot of that showed up in the first half.
And obviously there was that, weather delay that happened in the middle of that game. Is that what you kind of contribute to maybe some of those penalties, kind of appearing in that second half, or is there something different?
Nah, that's just on me. That's got to be locked in, whether it's a 2-hour delay or regular halftime. that's just seeing who's focused, and I messed up on those two plays, so no, that's just on me.
Obviously this week Oklahoma State, and last week you guys kind of struggled maybe with getting off the line of scrimmage when it came to the runs. How important is it to make sure that isn't a struggle point this week?
Yeah, it's really important. They got a tad bit of bigger guys than Southern Utah, so we just got to come off the ball. If we handle line of scrimmage, we should have no problem winning the game.
And also they kind of run a 3-man front versus an even 4-man front, which you guys saw last week. How much does that kind of change some of the blocking schemes, or maybe just the way that you think about blocking this upcoming week?
It definitely changes. The schemes a little bit, but it's nothing just like blocking any other 3-down front. We have the same way, so it's nothing too crazy.
Oliver is kind of a guy that play a little bit as a linebacker, will drop back in coverage, and he can also come up and blitz. What have you kind of seen from him on tape? How do you guys anticipate, scheming for him?
No, yeah, this is his third year, so we saw him last year, so we already kind of have a good idea of how he is and what he's good at and whatnot. So we're going to treat him just like anyone else. He's a good player, so we're going to honor that and then just stick to our rules, stick to our basics, and if we do, then we'll be just fine blocking.
Yeah, you guys obviously played them last year in Stillwater, but they have a new defensive coordinator, new scheme. How much are you able to pull from last year's game against them and apply it to this week?
Last year's game, you can pull more just like personnel, just if players that were there last year, just watch their film, so that is. But as far as schematics, you can't really watch a lot of it from last year because, like I said, it's a new DC. So more just watching certain players and seeing how they play. You can go back and watch that from last year's tape.
Have you gone back and watched the defensive coordinator's tape from his previous school?
Yeah, 100%.
What have you seen from that scheme, from that film so far?
Pretty similar. We only have the first game from him at Oklahoma State, but it's pretty similar from what he ran as old school Gannon. So, a lot of it translates. Like I said, it's only one game that he had to show it, but so far, like I said, a lot of it is the same. So it's really good to go back and watch his the old school to see what he ran schematics-wise.
Obviously, a very small sample size, like you said, from that Oklahoma State, week 1 game. How much of that, though, do you feel like you were able to take away and maybe anticipate seeing some of those schemes that they employed last week against you guys?
Yeah, I feel like it was nice to have that at least one game to watch. And like I said, it at least confirmed that they're running a lot of the same stuff. Obviously they come out in something brand new, and if they do, we'll be ready for that. But if they stick to what they did, then I feel like we'll be fine just blocking it how we see it.
There's also been a little bit of rotation on the line from, the tackles have been rotating in now, same thing with the guards. What do you kind of, make of that, and how do you feel like, you've performed through that?
Yeah, I think it just shows that we have a really good depth, and we have a lot of guys that can play and a lot of guys that can start. So, just adds competition, and it's just going to hold everyone to a higher standard to try to perform as good as possible.
Does that kind of affect your mindset all, knowing that, there might be a play where, someone could come in and grab you? How are you taking that on a play-by-play basis? How does that work?
Yeah, you can't really worry about stuff like that. If you do, you'll probably mess up. So you just got to go out there, and while you're in, just focus, and while you're out, just pay attention. like I said, you can't let that really bother you. Like I said, we have good guys, so you got to anticipate that, there's other guys that can play as well. So, it's just, we're getting used to it and just keep going out there and battling.